Okay, so I believe we're now on to the 12th turn, which is kind of surprising because I wasn't expecting if I was going to be able to save up for, you know, the halfway point in this board in particular, but it knows what it stands. So anyway, so let's see what Toadette is going to do here. She's going to buy the Super Shroom Orb, just in case for, until when the next, well, you know what I mean, until when DK is about to be going onto the dock. So, anyway, I think I do need a bit of a good roll, depending if... Nah, it doesn't look like it, so... I suppose I could able to go to the right, because otherwise... Ooh, sweet! I'm also able to actually just land on that happening space no matter what, if I decide able to use my, my Sluggish Shroom if I get my chance, so... Alright, so Toad gets an 8, and he's gonna buy the Mushroom Orb. Standard stuff for the most part. And he's probably gonna go to the left for the quickest route to able to get to this, the dock. And I think that Mini Bells is gonna make it there first before you do, Toad, so unfortunately for you, you didn't get enough chance to able to caught up, so I guess, you know, Mini Bowser's now got 2 stars now, so because of that though, well in total anyway, so he's pretty much almost gonna caught up to me, so we can at least expecting that he would be able to actually just, well, you know what I'm saying. But, anyway, yeah, today's day is of course the 3rd of October today, in this case in 2021 today, so, not much else to talk about, apart from the fact that until when it gets to the point about the fact that we've, for those of you who lived in North America, that, No Time to Die is almost going to be releasing on big screen on, the theaters in, the 8th of October in America, whilst usually in my country, in the UK, already got it, so still so close to able to play Money Belt again. Jeez, I'm getting so sick of the forms of likely not getting some of these minigames that we have not played yet. But oh well, we're going back into Treasure Trollers again, so I suppose that's pretty much I can usually summarize as such. So, anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, because of that though, not much else I can talk about, aside from the fact that, well, potentially speaking, it's just the fact of the matter is that I've already explained a lot of things during the forms of the first half of the forms of, well, the first half of this particular board. Oh, sweet, I've got myself a golden treasure chest, so how's that for that? And of course I got regular normal treasure. So, again, there's not much else I can talk about. Well, I've already mentioned about a lot of stuff that has usually happened, like, you know, the past few weeks ago. And also during around the forms of how the board itself actually plays out. So, but aside from all that stuff though, I'm pretty sure we've only got about 26 days to go until, you know, Mario Party Superstars for the Nintendo Switch will be releasing, so... Anyway, so now we're on to daytime in, you know, Castaway Bay again, so, of course we can't able to actually use the Pink Boo House, until when it gets to the point until, you know, in turn 16, all the way up to turn 18 for, you know, using Boo Houses in mind for nighttime, so... And I get the feeling Toadette is probably going to make it to meet up with Bowser, or, in some cases, that she actually going to give Toad a boost, or, to be more specifically, I think I should probably land on that the happening space, just for the sake of how the fact that since I felt incredibly bad for Toadette at the moment, because she doesn't have a star yet, so I figure I was able to use my Sluggish Shroom to myself and able to get ourselves a glorious low roll, which is 1, and that way I can able to actually switch the actual boats around and trying to screw up Toad. Even though I was expecting to able to screw up Mini Bowser, but of course Mini Bowser already make it to the actual star itself, so yeah, that pretty much summarizes as such. What's the point of using that particular mushroom, Toad? I mean, regardless of such though, I've already screwed you up tremendously, but still, 9 and 5 makes 14. And sure enough, you'll lose a star instantly, so yeah, that might seems unfortunate for you. Kinda does the same thing for the likes of in Mario Party 1, from the likes of Bowser's Magma Mountain, and also Eternal Star. But usually, relatively speaking, it's just that it feels a bit too much for able to, you know, lose a star in the process if you meet up with Bowser and such, so yeah, still, it's unfortunate, but still. So now it's going back onto DK's boat on the actual dock, so yeah, something's worth knowing for. I suppose I should probably point things out as well is the fact that this will be the last board to able to feature DK and Bowser spaces, because whenever we get into the forms of the the finale board in the forms of Mario Party 6, that I'll talk more about that whenever we get into the forms of the final board in the forms of this game. Although not completely the final time we're going to be seeing DK space or Bowser space, because it wasn't until Mario Party 7 roll around and Mario Party 8 that they did manage to able to obviously make those returns, so that seems pretty standard stuff. And also during around that time that Mario Party 9 managed to able to bring back the DK space for only one board. That's what appears to be, of course, DK's Jungle Ruins. And by that time, after Mario Party 9 for the DK spaces, well, Donkey Kong spaces is no longer returning every now and then, because obviously ever since in Mario Party 10, they managed to bring him back as playable character once again, and of course Star Rush, and also Super Mario Party, and eventually Mario Party Superstars. So that should be pretty exciting, all things considered, because despite, the top 100 only has 2 DK spaces, meaning 2 DK minigames and stuff like that, based off of Mario Party 7, but usually because obviously DK is sadly not playable on that game. But at least thankfully that DK can able to, or Donkey Kong for that matter, can now able to finally experience the minigames based off from Mario Party 5, Mario Party 6, Mario Party 7, and possibly Mario Party 8, and potentially Mario Party 9 minigames here and there as well. So yeah, about time to able to let Donkey Kong get his chance to able to experience, well, you know what I'm saying, most of these minigames from Mario Party's past. So, well, you've already experienced some of these minigames from Mario Party 1, 2, 3, and 4, and even 10 as a result too. So, yeah, something worth classified for something, so. Alright, so it looks like Toadette is probably going to purchase the first star for her after all this entire ordeal for able to actually meet up with Bowser for the first time and lose 20 coins in the process. But at the very least, that she managed to finally got her star. So yeah, all pretty much standard stuff for the most part. But yeah, another thing I just want to classify for mentioning about something is the fact that recently I did manage to pre-order, or to be more specifically, we only got about 2 more days to go until Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, which is the version I'm going to be skipping on, just because, well, unfortunately I don't have the PS5 still, and also to top it off, that it only works in 4K TV, although it might work on 1080p televisions, but most of the time it's just 4K requirement, which I don't actually access to. But I'm fine with the PS4 version just because obviously I've got, more storage now thanks to the forms of the internal storage, the external hard drive that I still got to able to, well, I'm only going to use that for the sake of digital only games as opposed to like physical stuff because, well, obviously I'm just going to do the exact same method as sometimes the forms of, the Wii U and all that stuff, so. Anyway, so we're going on to 1 versus 3. I'm going to be the team of 1. And oh look, we got ourselves our first mic minigame. So in this case, we are doing Shoot Your Mouth Off. Not sure this might be something worth noting for if able to, like, come across into this minigame. So, one player gives attack orders to Shy Guys while the other 3 avoid the abominated of bob-ombs and bullet bills. So basically, since I plugged my GameCube microphone onto my GameCube, this means I can only use my microphone on the team of one. And this only triggers if the human players get involved for the team of one, because if CPUs get involved in the team of one, it will not work. 5 1 9 8 7 6 9 5 4 9 And I believe once Toad managed to get surrounded by bullet bills, then I should able to win. So, but even then, there's also that particular secret thing I would like to discuss upon, but I'll save that until when we get to one of those extra videos of Mario Party 6. So, yeah, that's something you need to be, like, considerate. So, alright, so looks like Toad she's not gonna use her orbs just yet, but she landed on the red space, so that seems unfortunate for her. And I got a glorious 9. So, let's see what item I might purchase. No matter what though, I think I should probably go for, yeah, why not? I'll go for the sluggish shroom again, so, because again, this item is so useful, especially noticeable if you try to land on certain spaces throughout the whole board. Conveniently enough, nah, I'm not able to take a red space, because otherwise, then I really refuse to able to lose a star in the process, because if I do, then I'll be really screwed by that, so... Alright, so Toad is gonna take a bit of a, well, I don't know if he's gonna take a raft. No, he's not gonna go there, so... That's alright, I suppose. And of course he can't able to meet up with Pink Boo because it's daytime and such, so there's nothing he can do from here. Well, apart from the fact that he got enough coins to able to actually steal a star from someone, so... Alright, so let's see what Mini Bowser's gonna do. He, for whatever reason, is gonna take a ride. Although I was expecting if he's gonna say no, because otherwise he needs to save his stars before he was able to actually just... Well, you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, there's not much else to say, so, let's see what Mini Bowser... Yep, he's gonna meet up with Bowser himself. And eventually, his star will be lost, so... And eventually, that Toadette might actually be in second place, so... Because she actually got more coins than, Mini Bowser. Even though, despite Mini Bowser has none of his coins at the moment, so... That's to be expected by that point, so... And there goes blasting off the cannon. And managed to land back to the start as he goes. It's kind of weird that Bowser never takes the pilot to the actual boat, and then just trying to take him back to the start, because all he really does, he just managed able to just... Oh, he got screwed. He goes all the way back to the start again. Jeez. I mean, what is this? It's kind of like EGAT's Garage all over again, when Yoshi just managed to continuously land on that, you know, that orb event. It's kind of similar, if you ask me. Alright, back on to Rocky Road, which to be expected, because, you know, I don't mind about this minigame at all. Even though despite some of these computer players will be act out like an idiot sometimes, by able to actually do not, like, punch each other and stuff like that, so... But at least it's great able to see this minigame again, but on HD for the first time until, you know, Mario Party Superstars, which I'm so glad about that, because even then, though, that it makes everything else a little bit more gorgeous than ever before, as opposed to this little, well, let's say generally with pixelated textures, or even, you know, with the forms of some dark patchy colors on the 3DS counterpart. But, hey, at least it's nice to see the, Rocky Road returning, so... But I digress. But then again, we'll talk more about Mario Party Superstars until specifically next year, after we finish up with Mario Party 7 and Mario Party 8 first, so... Just able to actually, you know, caught up with the actual series itself, so... Because still, we are the huge Mario Party fanatic, which we still do, even to this day, even especially noticeable obscurely. Our first ever Mario Party game we've ever owned is Mario Party 5, and I remember enjoying it, despite there are some randomness involved with the actual chaotic, the actual capsule system goes, but still enjoy it regardless of such. And obviously Mario Party 6 is my second Mario Party game I've ever owned, and the third one being Mario Party 4, despite the fact that we got it after Mario Party 5 and Mario Party 6. And after those, well, my fourth Mario Party game I've ever owned is Mario Party 8. And after that, it will be, well, usually after that I have Mario Party 7. And, well, despite Mario Party 7 is actually getting pretty pricey at one form or another, which meaning that Mario Party 7 will be a lot harder to obtain every now and then, just because of high price and everything, so... Anyways, here we go on to the last 5 turn events. So I'm on first, Toadette's in second, Mini Bowser's in third, and Toad is unfortunately in 4th place. So, let's see what the last 5 turn event is going to be this time in Castaway Bay. Oh boy, we got ourselves the triple amount of coins between blue space and red space. And conveniently enough, we actually seen every single last 5 turn events in Mario Party 6. So, that's top notch, all things considered. And, because unlike in Mario Party 4, that we somehow missing on that one particular event, which is double the amount of coins if you land on blue space or red spaces, which gives you 6 coins, like double the amount. And then in Mario Party 5, we're missing on one of those events, which happens to be 5 star spaces in one board. Which, it might be seems a little bit more fun if that usually happens. But somehow we ended up showing off every single event in the last 5 turn events in this game in particular, which is amazing if you ask me. Because even though if we somehow accidentally, like, you know, if my GameCube decides to go and just screw me up again, and then manage able to lose my progress and stuff like that, then otherwise we have to deal with this, the same amount of events, which, even though it's kind of hard to say about this at this point, just because, well, then again, it has been a while since I actually touched this, so since yesterday, so... Anyway, so I've got myself my 3rd star in this particular board so far, so at least that's expecting at that point. So, see you, Donkey Kong. I'll see you again at some point. And yeah, as you see, if I land on my own character space, if it's triple amount of coins, this actually gives me 15 coins, which is quite a lot if you ask me. Especially noticeable, this will actually help you a lot, even if you really want to get more stars throughout the game. And basically, if you want to buy more stars in the actual game board, then basically it's your chance to be able to actually just get even more coins if that event usually happens. Well, it doesn't last for long though, just because it's only in the last 5 turn events and stuff like that. Although, until whenever we get into Mario Party 7, that things gets a bit changed significantly, which we'll point it out during that time. So, and it looks like Mini Bowser is gonna switch to Toad. Seems like a very good use of that warp pipe item that he's gone through. And let's see what number is he gonna get. A 5. Oh, if he gets a 6, then we can definitely see that happening space on the left, so we can at least expect to mention more about it. But no, we're literally so close to able to see that event, so... Oh well, no big deal, but we're still literally so close to able to play Note to Self, which, as a result, that... Well, then again, thankfully, until whenever we get into the extra modes throughout the game, then we'll try to show those off if possible, so... Back to Tricky Tires, so... Let's just go ahead and, try to avoid, you know, whomps, thwomps, and everything, so... In fact, kind of think about it though, is the fact that, well, technically that in Mario Party Advance, that that was actually the final Mario Party game to able to feature an old designed, you know, with the blue Thwomps design model of those Thwomps, because until in Mario Party 7, they managed to change those into Great Thwomps, which is more accurately like a standard Thwomps. Ever since in, let's just say, in Super Mario Bros. 3 or something, or potentially speaking, like, before when, well, it might be hard to explain, because, it has been, like, a couple of hours since I actually last touched this game, of course. Last 4 turns in Castaway Bay before we move on to the final board in the party mode portion of this game. So, yeah, we're getting pretty close though, don't you think? So, oh, and another thing is worth noting for is the fact that I would like to discuss upon new forms of when this game did manage to came out the same year, at least in the UK version of this game. Now, I said this before, this came out in 2005 in the UK, whilst in North America and Japanese versions came out in 2004. So, I've already explained about the forms of the listings of some of the 2004 films came out the same year as this is, from the likes of North America and Japan. And as far as the United Kingdom is concerned, the country we still live in right now, usually there are quite a few 2005 films that usually came out the same year as this in the UK. Like, for instance, Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, and also DreamWorks' Madagascar, and also say applies to this terrible Chicken Little film. God, that film sucks. And also there is I don't know what else came out in 2005. I totally forgot, because I know I haven't really watched that much of 2005 films as much as the other guys do, but even then I'll have to do a massive research on it. Oh yeah, but in forms of technically Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, despite the fact that I still have not seen that film yet, because it never saw the light of day in DVD in my country, which just kind of sucks if you ask me. Because at that point, that we actually caught up on these Pokemon movies that ever came out on DVD media, and then as a result, we didn't get the movie 8 or the movie 9 DVDs anywhere in the UK releases, which is unfortunate. But at the very least, we got those 2 films on the iTunes stores, which is okay, I suppose. I mean, I kind of prefer having physical stuff as opposed to digital-only stuff. I don't know, it might be too much of a nitpicking right there, but still. And, around that point is the fact that we still haven't got a DVD release of Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution, because it's only exclusive to Netflix, and, also we haven't still get a chance to get a actual release date, or I still haven't seen, Secrets of the Jungle yet, which, I will need to get around into that at some point once I, do get enough time to able to actually just try to watch that at some point. Although, that's, I'm not exactly sure if I was going to watch it on Japanese or English versions. Well, at least depending of time and stuff like that, so. And it looks like Toad managed to land on Toadette's spot, which is going to be, yet again, the Mr. Blizzard, orb. Which nothing happens for him either way. And suffice to say, I think this will be the last time we're going to be seeing Pink Boo in this game, because until in Mario Party 7, that he will be back in Mario Party 7, but act out quite a lot differently this time around, because it's maybe due to the forms of, well, one of those orbs. So, that could be some potentials worth noting for. So it looks like Mini Bowser got screwed again, so because of that he has no stars at all. So he was expecting to get a low number, or even trying to land on that happening space, but unfortunately he got screwed. So now Toad is now in 3rd place at the moment, so yeah, that totally seems obvious. Alright, so let's see. Another 4-player minigame. Let's see if we can able to play, you know, even more minigames, like someone new. Someone like Refreshment, but apparently we're going on to the forms of Memory Lane again, so, yeah, that seems a little bit more obvious. Standard stuff. Oh, and another thing too is the fact that, after all, that I've managed to go back into Team Sonic Racing again, on the Xbox One version. So because of that, getting more achievements and everything. So something's well classified for noticing this before, you know, Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania is going to be releasing until the next 2 days. So yeah, we're actually getting quite close until that game's about to be finally coming out. And during around that time is the fact that we only got 5 more days to go until not only Metroid Dread is going to come out on the Nintendo Switch, but also the Nintendo Switch OLED model, which is basically a 7-inch screen version of this regular Switch, well, aside from the fact that with a better kickstand, is also going to come out too. So that should be pretty interesting with those particular releases and during the forms of next week. So, yeah. So meanwhile, Toadette is going to take a ride on this particular raft. So, and does it going to trigger... Oh, it does not trigger the Bowser fire cannon event, which I was quite surprised about, because there are a few rare occurrences where they managed able to do something like this. So, but at the same time though, that's it's all about luck elements, you know. Alright, so Toadette's managed to got herself her 2nd star in this board, excuse me, which is kind of convenient, because even way though, that after the struggling, you know, first 10 turns or something like that, but at the very least that so when it gets to the very end of this particular board itself, that she managed to caught up. So that seems, you know, pretty cool, and all that jazz. So now the Bowser boat is now going to be on the dock, so yeah, it seems totally obvious. Oh yeah, and another film that did manage to came out in 2005, I think anyway, although first before I do anything... Oh, I was literally so close to able to get ourselves enough, you know, caught up ahead for Mini Bowser and just try to switch over, but... beggars else can be choosers, and plus, I think I guaranteed able to not only purchase myself another, yeah, I'll go for another Sluggish Room, just in case for the Orb Star comes into play, and also I might land on the Happening space too. So yeah, pretty spotless as far as from my recollection. So, yeah, that's all I can honestly try to admit it for this point, so, yeah, it seems top-notch. Oh! I forgot about that other films came out in 2005, which is, Kronk's New Groove, aka, The Emperor's New Groove 2, which I think, suffice to say, I think that film sucks, because I think the first one is even way better than the sequel, Kronk's New Groove, because there's nothing special about it to me. And, also, Tarzan 2, and Lilo and Stitch 2, which I think Tarzan 2 is actually okay for me, and Lilo and Stitch 2, to me, it feels kind of mediocre. Well, nothing bad, but it's just, well, I remember liking it back in the day, but every now and then, I think I might as well stuck with the original film a bit more, just because, well, the original film is so much more of a classic, as opposed to, like, you know, budget things up, so... which it might be seems true from my knowledge. And once again, we're going back into Cannonball fun again, so yeah, I guess that totally seems, you know, obvious for standard stuff for the most part, so let's do some more Cannonball destruction. And what else did came out in 2005? I suppose as far as I can usually say, that's all I can say about it, even though that until whenever we get to the discussion about Mario Party 7, and, well, I've already mentioned about some of these films I've already mentioned, they came out the same year as Mario Party 7 came out in North America and Japan. Although we'll discuss on 2006 films, whenever we get into, like, you know, releasing around the same time as, or the same year rather, as in the forms of the European version of Mario Party 7, until we get around into that, until, you know, 2022, so... Alright, last turn in Castaway Bay, and it looks like that Toadette, she's not gonna use her orb, or not gonna toss away her orb, because, well, this is the last turn after all, and plus, anyone else doesn't seem to make it to Pink Booze somehow, so... I need about 10 roughly, so... And because of that, I need to go for another happening space until I get myself a glorious happening, or the action star, which thankfully I've got 10 anyway, and that will pretty much lead me to this particular mini event. So, time to grab even more coins. I gotta say, this border does look pretty nice though, even though, again, I've already mentioned about this earlier, is that the only downside I can think of is that if you meet up with Bowser, I think take away the stars just feels a bit too much for my taste. I think that's the only downside to this, but aside from that, this board is actually not too bad, not too shabby either, so... Anyway, so let's see what Mini Bowser's gonna do, and he's probably gonna use his... Oh, he got very lucky after using that particular Super Shroom Orb, because not only does he able to actually get enough coins to able to meet up with DK, but also get himself his first star again. So, yeah, that seems kind of a good move for that last turn for Mini Bowser. So, yeah, pretty cool. Even though I felt incredibly bad for Toad right now. But regardless of such though, he's being controlled by a computer player. So yeah, that's to be expected. So, but then again, as I said before, that you know that first mic minigame that we've somehow come across into, you know, shoot your mouth off. You know, as I said this before, this triggered, this particular mic minigame only triggers if the human players are actually on the team of one. It happens quite randomly most of the time, and also you have to make sure if the mic accessory turns on, and especially noticeable when it plugs into your GameCube, you know, memory card slot. Or, alternatively, you can able to use the controller and use it that way. And what that does is that you can press the R button to select all these different commands for specific words you try to select. So, and if it's usually in computer players, it will most likely stuck with 1 versus 3. And until it gets to the point into Mario Party 7, that some of these mini-games from the likes of, well, you know what I mean, the 4-player, you know, mic mini-games and all the other jazz, that's basically, those mini-games were expanded a lot more, and then able to actually get like 10 mic mini-games in total in Mario Party 7, so... yeah, that might be something. Unless 11 if you want to count the forms of the mic space in certain boards in Mario Party 7, so... but then again, we'll talk more about that game until, you know, in 2022. So because of that though, because, well, we're pretty sure that we're pretty much almost nearly at the end of 2021, which I was quite surprised that usually came out way too fast for my taste. But regardless of such though, we did have an alright year so far, which I'm sure that Maxi, or any toys for that matter, has already noticing this ever since in the past Let's Plays ago, so... But anyways, now it's time for the final results in Castaway Bay, the 5th board in Mario Party 6. So, just want to able to get this out of the way because I think my time is almost running out. So, yeah, hopefully I'll just make things a bit faster here. So, we'll just do the usual gig and all that stuff though. So, the minigame star, I know what this goes to. It definitely begins with a J, or specifically B for the character I'm using. Me/Boo. So, yeah, it seems kind of rewarding. And of course, we got ourselves the Orb Star. I think I actually use that orbs a lot, so in this case, I take that. And of course, lastly, the Action Star. It will obviously be goes to me, because it's a good thing I did manage to use my Sluggish Room on the last turn in this board, because regardless of such though, I've sweeped all the bonus stars. So it's a great success from my knowledge. So the winner in Castaway Bay, and that is of course me. So Toad is in 4th, and Mini Bowser's in 3rd, and Toadus is in 2nd. So there's my 5th victory in Mario Party 6 out of 6 boards throughout the whole game. So it feels like I've almost gonna get myself my perfect achievement for you know, winning every single board throughout the game, despite some screw-ups, but regardless of such though, I did that super nicely, so, yeah. Boo is the winner here, so anyway, let's have a look. Minigame, yeah, pretty much sweep that up tremendously, And also for orbs, oh man, Toad and Mini Bowser are almost kind of close to each other, like somehow lost by 2. And as far as the forms of any other spaces, wow, Toadhead lands on so many blue spaces. And as far as everything else, yeah, I basically land on 5 happening spaces right there. So it's a good thing that the Sluggish Room comes into play. So no dual spaces, no miracle spaces, and no Bowser or DK spaces, which is pretty odd if you ask me. So yeah, I guess suffice to say is the fact that we're gonna have to end things off here. So join me next weekend for more of Let's Play of Mario Party 6. Is that we are moving on to the final board in Mario Party 6 Party Mode. And that's what appears to be Clockwork Castle. So I'll see you guys next Saturday. Later, fellas, and I'll catch you guys at some point.